Alafia, everyone. Happy New Year. This is our traditional spring Oshun energy, New Year, Women's History Month, and the International Women's is on the 8th. So, this is a great time to celebrate ourselves, the things that we're doing, all that we are expecting the universe to bring to us. So, I am here in Barbados. I know some of you already know. So if I go off, just find me on YouTube. Yes, I know my skin is glowing, right? I'm just so nice and blackalicious. So thank you everyone for joining me on our show, the Ask Yaya Fini show. Somebody says, yeah, you look beautiful, but something. Anyway, I hope everybody can see me and hear me. Oh, glowing. Okay, wonderful. Well, today we are very, very, very happy to be able to do the show here with you. I know it's an hour earlier because life. This is a show that I want to talk about some things that we are facing or coming through, and hopefully, I'm just sharing my life with you as I always do. I was going back and forth whether to do the show because I'm out of town, out of the country. And I was like, I've taken an entire month. This is the first time in my life that I have taken a month and didn't do any work. I had clients here in Barbados. I have workshops that I've done in the past. People were calling me and I'm like, no, this is a time for me. I felt like it was necessary. I feel so good and rejuvenated. I must confess, the first 3 weeks, I did nothing but just sleep. I thought something was wrong with me. I was like comatose. I would just wake up, look at the sea because my room is right at the water. I would look at the sea, get back in the bed, go walk in the morning, back and forth. My body needed this. As women, and as we celebrate Women's History Month, sometimes we forget that we can't multitask forever. We have to come back to recognize that we are human. And in the things that we're doing, we're robbing ourselves to come fully as ourselves. So I took this time to celebrate. And so this morning I was feeling like, no, I don't feel like doing this. And then I went to do my meditation outside, and I'm sharing a special moment with you here. I went outside to do my meditation, and the wind was blowing slightly, but all of a sudden I felt like crying, just crying. And I didn't know why, because I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling alive and bright. And I'm just feeling like crying. So I just allowed the tears to come. And I was thanking my father's ancestors for allowing me to come back to, my grandparents' land, though I don't know them because of the enslavement period taking us to different places. And some of you know my story that my father's people came from Barbados. His mother and father were Bajans. And so coming here and pouring libation and walking through the fields and things really connected me. So I was just thanking and just placing myself in a place of gratitude. But at the same time, here are these tears and I'm crying. I'm not just crying from inside. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And the wind started blowing, the trees, everything was just like putting everything to full stop. And I said, I am not going inside. This is an opportunity for me to go through something. So I'm asking, the forces of nature to help me. I'm always looking for some reason for something. And then that was okay. And I had still been thinking not doing the show because I'm like, I don't have anything to talk about. And right after I came back inside, maybe about half hour to an hour later, I realized that today is the day of my goddaughter initiation that I did 4 years ago. And she passed soon after her initiation. Yesterday, I went online with her twin because I made two Oshuns. And I went online with her twin to see her celebrating, and she had the altar up for her. And I realized that that's what it was. I was connecting so much. So when we initiate people or help people to find their path by being their godparent and putting your pot, their shrines on their heads, and doing the things that we do to empower, it is a deep connection. It is not something that you just do because, well, I love you, we love each other. No, it is a deep, deep, deep connection. And that was reminding me of the connection that I had with her. Because yesterday when we were online doing the celebration for her sister, for Mobiroa's sister, Oshunayo, we talked about her and how she always shows up. But she showed up today in such a way that I knew that it was her spirit coming to sit right here with me. So it was really good. So I want to dedicate uh, this show to my goddaughter Oshunayo, who is Tangela Nashe Yashan Walker, also known as Moby Rora. Yes, we dedicate this to your spirit of Oshun that was vibrant, vivacious, came on earth, did what she wanted to do, what she came to do, and say, I'm out. So I give thanks. So just take a moment to connect to her loving, sweet smile. Thank you for connecting me and knowing that I needed to do this show. So it was so awesome. She happens to be a priestess of Oshun, and we're doing a celebration for Oshun. Uh, as I said, it's been 4 years, and it's been a journey for me because it's the first time that I've had a goddaughter, you know, to pass. Um, yeah, soon after her initiation, that was a new learning step for me, occurred as to some of the things that we do and we go through as godparents and as spiritual guides, and taking a commitment to help and assist others, and they have their own Odu and their own journey, and for us to understand that it's not about us. And for those of you who have godparents, I implore you to stay connected so that you'll really understand the depth and the beauty and the power that we have, that we find on earth, that as a priest you become a god, that your presence, we call on her for divination, we call on her for different things, so you're called on after you pass. So it's not something that you went through and an event and then you move on. You're connected forever, forever. So and I want to also just reach out and send condolences to a friend of mine for many, many years, priestess of Oya, the mother of our dear Babalawo, Alex. His mother made the transition yesterday, and she was an elder in our community. We love her, and we just send energy to the entire family. She fought a good fight. That Oya fought a good fight, and she left with everything that she wanted to do on earth. So we give thanks and elevate her, Mama. So the show today, I want to speak about, this is the season of spring. This is the time for us to grow, to take off all of the winter clothes, because this is the season that we're coming up. The spring equinox are coming up. We're going to be able to celebrate with our fast and cleansing. This is a time, new year for us. In our calendar year, this is the new year. This is the new yam, the new season, a new opportunity for us to dive into some new abundance. So this is a time for joy and for happiness. However, sometimes we know that happiness comes with its things, and I'm going to speak on that because I always like to make sure that we understand that this journey is real and is normal. This is not a religion. This is not in any faith that you're in. It's not about the faith. It's the walk that you have, the life that you have, the journey that you take. So this is time for spring, for women to celebrate, for us to celebrate the power of the woman, of the womb, the energy of the feminine principle of life, that without it, life will cease to be. So this is the time for us to celebrate the divinity of the female, the divinity, the energy of Heteru, of Oshun, of Yemanja, of Olokun, of Oya, of Oba, of Yewa, of Obatala, all of the energies that flow through rivers and valleys and spring and rain, and make sure that the unity of female and male gives birth to a new beginning. So in this spring season, that's what we're doing. We're honoring the energy of creation, of creativity. Oshun, the mother, the divine energy that brings us every March. We have the opportunity for us to now put in the ground the things that we want to come up in the summer. And so this is a time for us to put it in. We have dug up the soil. January was here as we started with our New Year readings. February came. We honored our history. We went inside and looked in. So if you follow me on all of the platforms, you know that in during that month, we go in. February, we went in deep inside and looked at some of the things that was holding us back, cried, shed, and now spring is here and we can be like, okay, so now I'm ready to plant seeds, because if I didn't have February to give us that deep connection to Olokun that no one knows what lies at the bottom of the sea, we would have been planting grass thinking that because it has long stems that it was. But we want to plant onions. We want to things that look like grass, which is like onions, garlic, fever grass, patagallina, all of those things that give us the opportunity to say, wow, I need to be careful what I'm growing, what I'm planting. And so with this understanding of knowing that it's a springtime, today what we want to talk about is we're going to talk about the seasons. I'm going to talk about the 5 senses of Oshun, how she governs it, how during the season we can use our 5 senses to honor Oshun in us, to awaken that spirit, that water. The water, the blood that runs through our veins is the Oshun. That is the river of life. That is the river of life. That is the thing that feeds all of the cells. So that is Oshun. There's nothing that we do in life that does not call for her presence. There's no altar that you cannot find Oshun. There's no place in life that you can have without water. And so all of the deities, and Oshun especially, during this time of spring and rebirthing and redefining ourselves and giving ourselves permission. This is the time to throw off the old winter blankets, the boots, the challenging times that we had in cold. That's why I ran away to Barbados. It was so cold in North Carolina. The whole month of January, it snowed every weekend. I said, I'm out of here. And so his spirit worked it that I was able to just leave and to come and spend the whole month, because it is a time for the spring for us to jump forward with the new plans, the new ideas, and the new beliefs about ourselves. So this is a time we're going to look at some of the beliefs that we covered in February. And now we're looking at the beliefs and say, wait a minute, am I that or am I this? Hey, yes, you have the opportunity of doing what? And saying, no, I need and I want and I desire to have a time just for me. That speaks volumes. Knowing me, which is a little workaholic. I'm like the little beaver there, Energizer Bunny, and some of my students call me because I feel like I'm always got to be going. But to be able to shut down, I was like, I needed that. And so in moving forward with the spring, we have to always understand that no matter how we're moving in our lives, some of us are going through some challenges. And I like to talk about us because it's not about y'all. It's about us, because I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you in a different age, in a different experience, but I'm going through the same thing, because the universe is always giving us an opportunity to flow and to grow. The universe is so abundant and it always gives us something for us to look at the beauty of God and the benefits of God. But sometimes we get sidetracked and forget, as human beings, that we have the opportunity to decide how we want to live. If we want to decide to be joyful, then all of that other stuff that's happening is a jumping off point for us to be happy. It's a jumping off point. It's an opportunity for us to grow, because God gives us always an opportunity for us to stumble and fall and to do that, so that we can, in that moment, recognize that anything that you plan has the opportunity to flow differently. Man's plan is God replans. So this is an opportunity for us to look at some of the things that we may be going through and some of God's plan is to go ahead of you. Sometimes God has an opportunity to give us the insight, and sometimes we don't see it, because sometimes I don't see it myself, to go ahead of us and to clean our roads, and so that we can see what opportunities are there. So in this time that we're asking for all of this juicy stuff and coming to us, we're gonna have some little pebbles in the path. Just pebbles in the path, and they become pebbles. They can become boulders. They can become obstruction, depending on what you claim it is to you. Depending on what you claim. So little situations come to us that just so. Sometimes when we have a stone in the road and the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, cleans it up so that we can see the opposition. We can see the stone as a boulder in the road, or we can see it as a little pebble that you can use that pebble to build you a new house. You can break that stone down or take it and put it in the new extension of your new house. So you can stay there and say, oh God, I can't make it because there's this boulder. Or you can do the wise thing and make that boulder, take that obstruction, take it and make it something to build you on the next level. So when the universe, God, spirit, Allah, Buddha, Heru, Neteru, whoever that cleans your path, it's making sure that you recognize that there are new jewels for you, new opportunities for you. The universe is so abundant, it's always trying to clean the path for us to see it. And so we are forces of nature. We are the expression, and y'all have heard me say that before, the physical expression of the divine. We are omniscient, omnipresent. We have the opportunity to be everything that God has. We have fire, we have power, we have water. All of that exists in us. So when we are confronted with situations that make us feel like, well, stop. This is God is you're telling God that you're not perfect. And remember, if we are made in the image of God, we are the physical expression of God. We are the opportunity that God said, I want to have ears, legs. I want to have music. I want all of that. Let me make some human beings here. And y'all know the creation story. And if you don't know it, go on my platform and sign up for the Ore IIASK. And we have the history and all of this faith. But in this faith, we understand that everything is by divine order. We even chose the parents to come back with. We even chose the people that we end up with, the opportunities. And some of it may be long-term. Some of it is maybe a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And we depend on how much we want to be all up in it. And so we are the extension of everything that is good. God always wants us to be happy. There's no force in nature that says that when the rain is falling, it's for you to drown, or when the rain is falling, it's because your hair is going to get wet, or when the rain comes, it's going to flood a village. No, it's an opportunity for us to know that, if you're intelligent, you know how to gutter your place, you know what to take the water, you know how to catch it, and you know that water has a good force and a negative force, depending on how you're applying it to the situation. And so we are the extension of the divine. We have the opportunity to turn every situation that's around us as a tool of empowerment, because God is just sitting on the side saying, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. It just waits for us and says, I can't wait to bring some more love. I can't wait to bring some. So it's easy sometimes for us to get into doubts, And sometimes I'm reading from my notes, so I didn't make it in, because I felt so good about this after I passed my little inspiration. So it's easy to see doubts and doubters. It's easy for doubters and naysayers and people who are doing negative things to see the power that you have. They see it because they know what success looks like joy looks like. And sometimes we forget and give them the power to decide how we're supposed to interpret what is happening. Don't let any naysayers, bad mouthers, bochincheros, gossipers affect your life to the point where you forget that has nothing to do with you. That has everything with your connection to God and how vibrant and how great you are and how much you are in control of your life. So the naysayers, the doubts, the insecurity, the fear that we have, being afraid robs us of our destiny. When you're afraid, you are not taking your life as this benefic, beautiful gift that you have. So go ahead and take it, grab it. Any situation. So Forget about the naysayers. Forget about those things that you think that they don't want to wish you well, and they talking about you. Even the people who are stealing your social media. This month, I've had 3 different fake accounts created. When those things come, I try to block them and report them and all of that. But they always end up sending me more clients because people are like, that's not you. They're out there saying, oh, yeah, Feeney, come and get a reading and drop some money, cash out. If you know me, I'm never asking you to drop no money nowhere. Not me. If you send, that's beautiful, whatever. But this thing of begging and doesn't work well with me, not on my platform. And so they're doing those things, begging people, telling them, send in this, you want this, I can move mountains and that, and it's not me. Other people are looking like that, like, that don't sound like her. Let me go to her YouTube channel. That's not her. And so they end up coming to me anyway. So those naysayers, they're doing me a favor. So la on you. And so those people that are just irritating, it's like a little pebble in your shoe. Take off the shoe and walk barefoot. That's it. Just take it off, shake them off, and keep walking. Don't allow any of that stuff to stop you from doing so. How many of us look at the negative beliefs, negative images, failure, mistakes, disappointment, how fat we are, how finished, how small we are, how we didn't do that, how we didn't finish with this, how, the relationship we're in, the illness that we're going through, the problems that we're having with our children, so many things that we're going through, things that we thought we should have had by now. Those are just distractions because they're not blockers. Remember, they're not blocking you like the storm we said. They're not blocking. Just move them and get around. Just move them and get around. So they're not blocking you. They are just things to help you recognize how great you are. And sometimes some of the things the fire that you walk through, that you burn to your crisp, to your eyebrows, to your eyelashes have been burned off. If you know anything about farming, you can burn off the debris off of your garden, and that gives it charcoal. Hello. And makes it charcoal. And so that charcoal then becomes food. That charcoal becomes food for your new plants. For you, I noticed that here in Barbados, they have a time where they burn all of the dead leaf from the sugar cane. Yes, it goes into the soil. So all the things that you've been through, all of the fires that you walked through, all of the pain that you've been through in your life that burnt you, crisped you, thought you were dead. Take that stuff up. Use it. This is spring. Use it to fertilize where you're going. Use it to fertilize exactly where you're going. Because God always has a plan. Let me share a little something about me. There was a time where I was in the most difficult time of my life. I was raising 3 children, teenagers. I had left the village, no, the story that I want to talk is about that, leaving there, because I spoke about it the other day and it made an impact. Because while I'm here, I'm doing writing a little essay and things. And it was a very difficult time for me. I was so afraid. Because people were saying things that, if you leave your position, if you leave what you've created, if you're leaving what you're leaving behind, you have created this, you've helped build the village, you're one of the founders, you're one of the king's wives, you cannot leave here, your work is here. If you leave, you're going to be taught up as a betrayer. I was even given that title of persona non grata, ungrateful. I had no rights. The books, my names have been written, taken out of the books. Yes, this is the truth. And this is what's coming up for me as I'm writing this little essay. And I was so frightened Every night I would wait, every morning I would wake up with just fear that if I leave, what's gonna, I haven't lived in America, raising these children. I've been living here for 15 years. How am I going to take these children? They don't know, haven't been to school. They've never had any interaction with European culture. How am I going to do this? Oh my God. It was a scary, scary, scary time for me. And then the very people who I had thought that would have my back in my expansion into knowing and coming of age to myself, they turned on me as well. Wow. That was a blessing. That was a blessing, because what it gave me was an opportunity to say, you know what, where you are, for sure it's not working anymore. And so whatever you're going into is different, and it can't be any worse than this. And that moment, I was able to take all of the things that I have been burnt and make something else. I didn't even realize that spirit, my ancestors, Orisha, the universe, the creator, had already gone and left and found people to support me. I went to Charlotte. I had people to support me, people to help me, people to give me a helping hand, find me a place. My relationship with my family turned beautifully. My mother, people. The sound is gone on Instagram. Yeah, because somebody called me and cut it off. Sorry. I may have to go off and come back. Oh, Lord. I thought I put it on there. No sound. Sorry. I'm going to have to go off and come back on Instagram. And now. And I'm going to come on. Just bear with me, because someone called me and I thought I turned it off. So I'm going to have to go back on Instagram and get back on. Don't worry. I am coming back. I'm coming back live. Okay, I'm back. Somebody called me. I thought I put the thing on no disturb, but it came on anyway. And so anyway, as I was saying, so in my movement, in my leaving, I was so afraid, but God had gone ahead of me and created a whole world for me. I met women. And one of the things that whenever I'm moving, where in the world is Yayafini? I'm always moving. It's part of my Odu, part of my life and what I love. I always, when I come to someplace new, I always ask God, please give me some friends. Please give me some friends. And so I met friends. I had people just giving me so many things that I never knew my life could be as good as it was with my 3 teenage children. Well, 2 teenage and 1 in puberty. To find God waiting for me on the other side. God telling me, look, this is cool. You're going to expand. You're going to do well. But in the moment when I was trying to make that move, so look, if you are in a place where you think where people are naysaying, people are taking away your rights, people are doing the things that you feel that you deserve better, don't worry about it. God already got a plan. And it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be well. It's going to expand bigger than I could have never planned that. I could have never planned that when I left, I would be able to work in the school system, work at Davidson College, work in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools, have a dance troupe, write books, tour the world, influence, and have a platform where I can really empower the people to empower themselves and use this empowerment to change the world. I never knew that God could do that well, that orchestrated without me having to plan anything. It was amazing. Now that was a journey all of its own, and that's coming up in the book. It was a journey because my children were trying to find themselves, look at what it is, trying to assimilate in the culture that they had no idea. They had tribal marks. It was rough for us, but God already went ahead of us and set everything up so beautifully that in the struggle and in the back and forth of trying to find ourselves, we created a reality for ourselves that today my children employ other people. Just what it is that we have always told them we want them to do. They're on platforms. When you see them on the social media, they're vibrant, they're good, they're well. I never knew that. I never knew that. So if you are going through illness, if you're going through something that you feel this is the end of it, if you feel that people have betrayed you, if you feel that there's no end to where it is that you want to go, if you want to move to another location, if you just feel stuck, spring, this is the time to be bold and put those things in place so that by the summer, you'll be looking back and say, God went ahead of me. God went ahead of me and found all of the people, all of the support, all of the things that you didn't even know you needed. Look at this. I ended up having this beautiful platform with people who love me and support me and always telling me how crazy I am, but always telling me, go ahead. Yeah. I never thought I would do that. Some of the pictures that you see in the book, y'all would be like, whoa, I look harder than I look now. It was just from just stress and things. And so when we look at the negative things, we can't focus on that. We can't focus on those negative things. That's just distraction. That is just God telling you, no matter what happens, go back till I got your back, baby. You go out there and you make money with it, with the story, and you talk and you help and you assist others so that they don't have to go through what it is that you went through. I always thought in my training as a Iawarisha and as a Iawo and as a priestess, I always, whatever I went through, I always said, you know what, I'm going through this. And I know when I become a big time priestess, my godchildren are not going to go through this. And that's why I always set up classes and set up things for them so that you don't have to be bumping your head and going through stuff. And, it just was it was just my time to go through that development with hardship. And so don't believe the doubters, the naysayers, even those who, try to distract you on your social media. Just go out there and do the truth. Do the truth. And the truth is something that is always going to show up to be the truth. Because when you lie, you don't know what lie you told, and then you can't bring up with it. So this is a time I wanted just to share with us. Why is it that it's important for us to just, So if you are afraid or worried, knowing that God, I've got a bigger plan, you can just walk on through there. You can just walk through your life and knowing that this is the spring season of your life. So go plant and put people in your life who are going to help you and support you and give back constantly. And so Oshun season, I want to go into now the aspect of Oshun as our 5 senses. Our 5 senses are sacred to Oshun. Those are the areas of our lives that she governs, along with our blood and along with our saliva and our voice and our innards and that. And so Oshun's energy is the ability for us to go in this. And I want you to take this time, please take this season to go in and honor Oshun, the Oshun in you. The other day I saw a picture of Oshun, a video of this new Oshun video that she's wheeling and shaking her booty and all that. That's not Oshun. That's a minuscule portion of her. So let's dismantle this concept that she's some little whatever. So let's come back to honor the part of God that all of us have. Male and female have Oshun. We have the essence of creativity. Oshun. That is the ability for us to use all 5 of our senses. That's what we're going to talk about and allow you to have some magic, some mystery of how to tap into that during this season versus wiggling and feeling that Oshun is sex. And not that it's a bad thing, but it has its place, but it's not the predominance, okay? Oshun is the energy that governs our ability to intuit, our ability to speak words and they come and they manifest. Oshun is the ability for us to visualize, to touch things and to feel the soul of it, to look at things and awaken our vibration. That is Oshun. And so that's what we're speaking on today. So Oshun is that energy that lets us know that people, situation that come in our life can either come to encourage you, to assault you, distract you, but it's all about to empower you. It's just the way that you look at it. And so the energy of Oshun is our ability to use our 5 senses as tools for coming into our season of success. Our season of success. That's where we are now. We just came out of a Osun cycle of our season of looking within. This is our season of success. And the thing that I use that I think I coined it, that says that the COVID period was about going within, and it was what we call a universal timeout. And this time now is to the turnaround. So we're in the turnaround, and in the turnaround, this is the season of your success. We spent 2 years looking at the wall, trying to figure out what we're going to do. Many of us got better at what we did. Some of us started new things. Some of us expanded. Turn around and look at your new self. This is spring, the first spring that we're having, where we are really trying to step out and come out and alleviate some of the trauma that we've been through with this 2 years of being in timeout. That's where we were, timeout, looking at the wall. And so we're going to use the 5 senses, and I implore you to just use it. I do it every season, so I'm just sharing with you. Like I said, anything that I say on this platform, I've used it or I'm getting ready to use, but more than likely I've used it already. I know the efficacy of it, so I'm sharing it. And so we want to use Oshun, the element of the sense of sight. The sense of sight. Use it to look around you to see the beautiful creature that you are, created perfectly by God. Take your eyes and look at yourself. That is a sacred place for Oshun. You can take rituals of Oshun. Take an egg, clean out so you can see. Clean your eyes off with a raw egg. Don't break it. Drop it in the garbage. For your sight, your outer sight and your inner sight. So look at the beautiful, perfect creation that you are. And so I'm giving a ritual here, a recommendation that you can use. And you're going to ritually cleanse your mirror and sit in front of it and write down all of the beautiful things that you see about your body. I used to do this when I did counseling. And so I would say, look at the things that, that your imperfections, and go in and see how perfect they are. We don't want to go that deep. Clean your mirror. Sit in front of your mirror for 5 minutes. That's all we're asking, with a notebook. You're going to do this for 15 days. Right? Or 21 when you want to break a cycle. But we're just doing 15. And you are going to look at the beautiful things or what you like about yourself. Do not get distracted with, oh my God, look at these drinkers. Oh, no. Once that comes, that's not Oshun. You're defiling yourself. The person wants to know they clean the outside of their eyes. Yes, just to take the egg, clear it, say, I'm putting this cleansing for cleansing my eye. And you're going to water from the inner eye out, both of them. Your breath, clean yourself, drop it in the bag. Okay, so you're going to clean off your mirror, and you're going to sit there for 5 minutes, for 15 days, and you're going to look at only the good stuff. When you come up and say, oh my God, I don't have any eyebrows. Ooh, but you know what? I'm glad that I got eyes. I got eyes, and my eyes are so beautiful. Look at my nose. I don't know. Wow. What? This nose for sure connects me to my mother, because this is her nose, and my mother, I love my mother. This is a beautiful nose. There's some people that had disease or have an accident where lye was put in their eyes and put in their nose. Find things about you. Don't go too deep with, whatever. Look at the fact that you have the roll and say, you know what? I'm eating good. There are people who don't even have enough food to get these rolls. Embrace them. Look at your stretch marks. Ooh, look at the stretch marks that gave me the opportunity to have not 1, not 2, but 3 babies. Look at that. Ooh, look at your life. Look at your love lines. That's what those are. So clean it. Look at it. Say, wow, look at this. Start looking at the things you like about yourself. I personally love my shoulders. I love my shoulders. That's why a lot of y'all see how use a lot of escotado. I love my shoulders, and it's my grandfather on my mother's side had very broad shoulders, and that's why I guess we have. But I love my shoulders. I love my toes. I like my feet. Count on those things every day. Write down something that you found out that you like about yourself. Find out, just 5 minutes. Just sit there and just write down all of the things that you like about yourself. And you're going to find that you're going to go into other things that they're going to lead you to. I like the relationship with my mother, that I have this nose. And what can I do to better that relationship and make me feel even more glowing? Let me call her. Write down. I'm going to call my mother every day this week. Whatever it is that it takes you to. That's Oshun speaking to you in those moments of connecting to your beauty. She wants us to look at us and look inside and just look at the beauty that we have. Stand in the mirror. Stand in the mirror. 5 minutes. That's it for 15 days. That's the first ceremony that you're going to do, because this allows you to see how perfect you are. And as I said, as it goes along, you start getting better. You start getting better. I look at some of the stuff. I'm like, ooh, look at my varicose veins. You know what? Varicose veins are Oshun's canals. So I'm happy I got them because I know I'm alive, So you start looking at those things, and whatever you decide that you want to do with your varicose veins. I know young people they have a treatment that you make them disappear. That's your business. This here is about your positive, all of the things that you feel good about yourself when you look in that mirror. Don't get distracted and start telling yourself the lies again, the boulders in the road. No, no, no. And if you feel that there's something that you need to fix, then be serious about doing it. When I get back home, I'm definitely going to the gym because my shoulders, I want to have them firm so they can be more defined because I love them. That's what you do. I'm going back to the gym because now that COVID is over, I can get back with my trainer and do the things that I need to do. So if you want to perfect it, good. Know which side of you that you like. So that's the sight ritual. Then we're going to go to the smell. The ritual of the smell, the senses of your smelling. This is a time for you to bathe. Bathe with flowers. Do your Oshun baths. This is a time for you to bathe with essential oils. This is a time for you to burn sweet incense in your home. This is a time for you to start feeling that energy coming to you. You are a woman. This is the month of women's history. We forget sometimes to take time for ourselves. And so bathing with your flowers, bathing with your essential oils, and making affirmations, that's going to give you this ability to connect to Oshun on the senses, on your smell, on your sight. Next is the touch, the sense that connects us to the aspect of us of touch. So this is the time you want to set up a little sacred space for Oshun, a sacred space dedicated to opening up, both men and women, your kundalini, your sensual, your ability for visualizing. This is the place where you say for your creativity, for your passion, for your beauty, for your art, for your music, for your procreation, for your libido. You set that up there. Set it in your home where every day for the next 15 days to 21 days, you're going as you're doing, looking in your mirror, you're writing down. You're putting this altar up as you touch everything that you're putting. You have a container with water. You have 5 sacred stones that you get. It could be stones that you pick up at the street, stones that are crystals. You can put anything that is a matter that has memory in it. Stones have memory that stood the test of time, that rolled all over the earth through water, through river, and ended up in the sea. And so it has memory. And so this is a time for you to get your little altar up, a mirror, honey, 5 oranges, perfume, your comb, all of the things that you're using. And this is a time for you to get a massage and also to exfoliate yourself, moisturize your skin with my sensual Oshun banishing Mango sugar scrub. Go online. I had some before I left. I made some. And so go on the website and use that to exfoliate. That is the sense of touch. Having a massage, having someone to touch your body gets you connected to the sacredness of each part of your body. A massage is allowing your body to sweat and to the toxins to come out. Exfoliate yourself. And then we go to the next is the sense of taste. Taste. Commit to awakening your taste buds more fully. Connect to awakening your taste buds. The first way of connecting or helping your taste buds to rejuvenate is to cut down on the amount of salt that you're putting in your food. When you take salt out of your diet, I don't know the name of the gland that is in your mouth, but you're able to to taste again. We're not going into scientific thing. You can Google that part. I'm not a scientist. All I know that it works. Now, commit to a 7, 14, or 21-day fast, detox cleansing fast. That will take care of your sense of taste, because what you're doing is you are allowing your body to reprogram the cells. You're building new cells. And so you want to go, I have a detox juice cleansing group that is called Fasting and Cleansing with Yalode Yeyefini. You can go on Facebook and join it. We had a tremendous, wonderful fast for the winter. We got rid of all of the earth. So now it's time for the spring. Go on and cleanse it. Clean out your intestines. That is how we're going to taste food again. Juice detox. You're going to start with your salads. You're going to start with your salads. And then when you're finished with your salads, then you're going to go with your juices, and you're going to have your menu on there. Go on that detox group with Yalode Yeyefini. Get my book on my website, Meaningful Monday, the whole breakdown on how to fast, why to fast, all of it, the day to start, how to start out, how to come off, how to look at your poop, how it's important for you to take an enema when you get dizzy. All of that is in there. That's what you're doing with your taste buds. You are allowing Oshun to come back and be the spit, the saliva that tells your body, okay, you put some food in here. It tells the brain it's time to masticate, to chew, and then you start chewing, and all kinds of forms of your body start. Genius! Oshun is so genius. She's like, just with this one little grape, everything start. And that's why one of the things that we could do, that our body's so intelligent that if you eat something every 2 hours, your metabolism just speeds up, and it says, oh, we're not fasting. Let's go on and break this down. And by doing so, what we're allowing ourselves to do is to maintain our weight. So you don't fluctuate and feeling bad when you look in the mirror, when you're feeling like you can't go up the stairs or that kind of thing. And if you're in this faith and you got to be bending down to them shrines, you got to keep yourself healthy. And so when we do this detoxing, what you're doing is you're allowing your taste buds to come back. Your sense of smell also. Because when you're detoxing, the odor of certain foods just irritates the heck out of you, because your body's like, oh my God. And so you want to go in and do that for 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days. You want to just reprogram your Oshun, the ability, cut down the sweets that we've been having, to making it just coming from our natural. It's like taking instant injections of pure essence by having these detox juicing fat cleanse. That is the way that we're going to take care and have fun with Oshun, in our ability for us to taste. Our sense of taste is owned and governed by that. And then the last one that we have is our sense of hearing. Awakening your hearing during this time. One of the things that I used to do, I guess I'm going to have to do it again because it's coming to my mind, is to get my ears cleansed with the wax. That is a surprise. I forgot what it is called, but anyway, that sucker works. Where they burn the end of it, put it there, and all of the old wax come out. That sucker works. So if my body's saying that, I must do that when I get back. And so the hearing aspect of us, the things that we say to others and the things that we say to ourselves verbally, our ears hear that. And we are entering our temple, our divine temple hears. So this is a time for us to take a minute to disconnect to some of this, the vibrancy of distraction, of wild things that are not nurturing to us. And so this is a time sometimes just to sit in complete silence. Complete silence. And so the ceremony or the suggestion for the hearing is, of course, every morning you want to put on a meditation that puts you in a place of connecting to all five of your senses, to all five of them. And you can get my Oshun meditation on my website, yayafini.com, and download the Oshun meditation and do that during the time that you're sitting in front of your altar, feeling, touching, smelling, bathing. Use it during this time to awaken you. This is for men and for women, though we're talking in the empowerment, because when a woman is empowered, she shares the opportunity to empower the world, the men, the children, the vibrancy. Because when a woman is vibing good, and when we come together and know the power of our ability to create any space, be it our home, be it our job, be it our entrepreneurial things, all of it comes to life. So this is our time. So the hearing part is so important because sometimes we have the the pods in our ears, we have the loud music, and we don't get a chance to really hear the sounds that's going on around us. So I welcome you to just sit during this time of evolution and coming through the vibration of Oshun, to just take 5 minutes every day without any music, anything, and just sit and to hear the universe. You'd be surprised how keen you start hearing. The first thing that you may hear is the hum of your refrigerator that you never even noticed. You hear the crickets that's singing outside that you may not even notice. You hear someone walking. And you can, wow, I never knew I could hear that. You start hearing in such a frequency that you become more in tune to what's going on outside, and then you start hearing yourself from the inside. Very, very, very powerful. 5 minutes, that's all you have to do. 5. I'm doing everything in the 5s. Just 5 minutes of doing that for 15 minutes. For 15 days. Allow yourself to do that while you're cleansing. You have your little altar up. You're bathing in the things to open up your channel. You're detoxing your body. You're cleansing off with your sugar scrub. You're getting your meditation, and you're recognizing that nothing other than what you are involved in right now has anything to do with distraction or negativity. None of it. None of it has anything to do with negativity. It's all about love. Loving yourself enough to know that you are so perfectly orchestrated. Perfectly orchestrated. That nothing that looks and feels like it could be bigger than you, stronger than you, distracting and insecurity, none of that is really real. What is real is that you are a divinely organized piece of equipment, that anything that comes up, get back, devil. I'm not having this today because I am in a place of nothing but loving God, loving myself, This is a 5-day, 15-day ritual of self-love, because if we can love ourselves, anything that comes up to distract us and to awaken any of the negative things without that are distractions, boom, 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 they're gone. So this is a time for us to really embrace Oshun, the energy of the divine blood that flows through us, and know that we are defined and dedicated by the Creator to come and make a difference in our lives. I want you to know that I pray over each and every one of you this moment right now in perfect balance and in perfect harmony. I come and I sincerely sincerely hope and know from a deep place that all the words that are coming through me, for me, are resonating in your spirit, are resonating in your body, in your mind, in your house, in your family, to bring you to a place of just wholeness, and knowing that no matter what you've gone through, naysayers, situations, accidents, all of that, none of it is going to take you out. You have a divine purpose. Remember that. Ear candling, someone said. Thank you. And so the next few minutes, I want to take some time here to see if there's any questions that they have. Put it in the chat, and we'll see if I can answer some of them in terms of not allowing fear to rob you of your destiny. Do not allow fear to rob you of the greatness that God has planned for you. Don't let people be stealing from you. Thank you so much. Someone said that they're praying for me. Thank you every day. Please, please. If you're running out of stuff, says, "Ooh, let me send a prayer for Yaya Feeding." Please, I ask y'all to pray for me as I pray for you. Pray for me when I run across your platform. When you're on any of the platforms, just pray for me. I welcome it. I am grateful for you because of you, because of this platform, these platforms that I have the kind of vibrancy that I have, because I could not be doing this in some hole, someplace, being a negative person. So I pray for you, and please continue to pray for me and my family, and my children, and the special people in my life. You all are my strength. As I said, I always pray and ask God to bring me friends. I always want friends. Let me see now if I can find any questions. Someone said they're sending me prayers. Thank you. Someone said, let me see. What do I do if I'm traveling for part of the 21 days? That's fine. If you have an altar, you can take your altar with you. You don't have to pack it in. You just go wherever you are and take a glass of water, take 5 stones and put them on a thing, and put some honey. You can travel with it. Remember, the Spirit of God lives inside of you. It's not the things that's outside. I have a class that I taught and teach sometimes. It's called, Is the God in You in a Pot of Rocks? You are the vessel. You are Oshun, so you can travel, and wherever you are, you set it up. Someone is saying, what do I do? Okay, that's it. Someone said, you are beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Bedina says you're beautiful. Thank you so much, Bedina. Any questions? Yalode, thank you for pointing out that we should stay away from fear so we can develop into who we ought to be. Of course, because fear is a choice. It is, because when it comes up, you can decide, like I said in my story, I could have just stayed in fear that I was going to fail and I was going to be this horrible person and my children would not amount to anything as it was told to me. Fear is not real. Like I had said the other day, fear is your ego. Your ego is not your amigo. Remember that. So yeah, definitely don't get distracted. Fear is in your mind. Fear is in your mind, or that you've been taught, to be afraid. But when a little child will walk up to a snake until they realize that somebody told them that it will hurt them. They're going on a vibe. Okay, anybody asking any interest? I just did this yesterday. Someone did, they cleanse their ear. What do I do if I'm traveling? I'm going up the road. Let me see. Done. I will look back on Instagram, like living in Charlotte. Okay, sounds good. Let me see if I have any questions. Anybody here? Oops. Ooh. I don't see any questions on the Instagram one. And you know the Instagram, we went off and came back. So you may have to look at it twice, okay? Yeah, isn't fear a tool? It's a tool. It's a tool for you to use. We said that earlier. You know, it's a tool. If you're afraid, you're going to decide in that moment, is this real? And for me, one of the things that when things happen to me and I am stuck in my humanness in the moment, I say, what's the lesson and what's the blessing in it? The lesson and what that does for me, it lets me see that I have the choice to look at it differently. What's the blessing in it and what's the lesson in it? And then I always ask, why is this happening for me? And when I say it happened for me, it changed my whole vibe about stuff. It's because then I realized, wait a minute, this thing here is an opportunity for me to do something else. What is it? Why is this happening for me? And why is this happening through me? Not why is this happening to me? Because once you say what is happening to me, then automatically you assume that someone else has the power or something else has the power and that you're a victim. No, when you say why is this happening to me, that you're then claiming that something is bigger and better than you. Why is this happening for me? Then that shifts your perspective in that moment, that this is something that you can hold on to. You can make it, rather than to assume that fear is real and that fear is going to kill you. No, it's not. It's just an opportunity. It's a choice that you can make to either believe it or not. Someone asked, and can we put the items on our Ifa altars? No, you're making a shrine for Oshun herself. Let's not mix kerosene with oil and think, because it's nah. The altar that you're going, if you have your own Oshun altar, good to you. Go and do the ceremony there in front of her. Take her mirror, look in front of her, do all of the things, bathe, talk to her, do your meditation, do your fast on silence. But this is not to be put on your Ifa altar or your ancestors. We said create a space, create a sacred space just for that, to awaken the spring. You can call it your spring space, your spring altar, your spring sacred space, your location. Make it in, and I could get esoteric and tell you what direction to do it and all of that, but we're not doing that right now. Just go ask spirit, go into your spirit and say, where would be a good place for me to put this sacred space where I'm going to go every day for 15 days and connect to the energy of Oshun. And I light my candle. If you decide that's what you want, where could I pour libation? If you know how to do that, it's something that you are doing for yourself. This is the Oshun inside of you. It's not an external thing that's going to empower your Ifa or anything to that extent. I hope that answers you. Okay, thank you. Let me see any other question. Yeah, we need that Oshun energy right now. Someone said silence can be scary at first. There are things some of us been blocked out of for years. And that's what we were saying at the beginning of the presentation, is that you've been blocked for years. Someone is asking that perhaps this is the opportunity for you to look at it from a different perspective. Say, why did I attract that? Why did that happen for me? And that could start opening the candao, the lock. Why did this happen for me? And some of us have been some horrific things in our lives. We have to know, why did it happen for you? More than likely, it happened for you so that you will be able to understand that you have the power to change the things that you believed in that moment when you were going through it. And it has a way of releasing it. I was molested as a child, and I've taken that to be a tool to help with my self-empowerment intensive program, my children's rites of passage. All of those are to allow us to have some tools to bring us to some of the horrific things that happen to us, and use number one, ritual to shift our resistance to unblocking it in our heads. You see, I didn't say our awareness. Do rituals to unblock the things that sometimes is so deep within our being and our belief. And then we go to changing our belief. And then we start doing things to change the dynamics of who we are. We have done things, but that's not who we are. The things that you have done are not who you are. Who you are is the opportunity and the ability every minute that you have breath to take a different course of action, to find joy, to find Oshun, to find satisfaction, to find self-love, to find the ability to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did that, but now I am here. So I hope that answers. Yes, silence can be scary, but if you do it off, that's why we're doing these things for 15 days. It's allowing us to move the energy of Oshun. The students of mine that are on the IIASK, we have in the Oshun Festival on the 20th, on the 19th of March. And that's when we'll be able to go to the river. And for those who want to come in person, they can. And that's where we're going to, but we'll always also have it on virtually. And we're going to be able to look at Oshun. Look in the river, look in the water. That is the mirror. That's the first mirror that we have. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Talk to your Oshun. So for those of us who have the opportunity to go to a river during this time, do that. Go to a river. Look at the first mirror of life. That's Oshun. You look in that mirror. You look in that water. And you speak. You use all of your senses. You're going to bathe. You're going to smell good. You're going to put food in there. All the presentations that you're doing to that altar, you could do to the river. I didn't make an emphasis on the river because some places it's still freezing cold. But the spring is opportunity for you to do that. I hope that answers the question. Does it matter what time of day we do it? Does not matter. It's up to you. If you follow me on any of the platforms, I don't affix a specific time because we on all kinds of time. Eastern time, Pacific time, your time, my time. Whatever is sacred time for you is good with me. It is sacred good with me. There's only one Odu that I know that you should not be outside. There's a particular Odu that you don't want to be outside. I think it's Ejionle or Obara that you don't want to do when the sun is in the midhaven, because that's when the energies of dark and light, or positive and negative, come together. That's when you don't have a shadow. That is an Odu that you don't particular, and it's just to go outside to be in the sun. Other than that, I don't know of any rituals that says that there's a specific time that you have to do this. You can do it whenever it feels. What I suggest and recommend is when I'm doing sacred work, I do it at the same time every day. So if I decide I'm going to do this ritual on Sundays, for the 15 days, I'm going to do it every Sunday. If it's going to be that I'm going to do it at 3 o'clock every day, I am going to do it at 3 o'clock. So mark your own ritual space for yourself so that you can connect to the Oshun. You're not doing this for Oshun outside. This is you. She lives in you. So you are going to make that agreement with your Oshun that this is when I'm going to do this for moi, for me. I am going to self-inspect, self-indulge, self-explore, self-love on myself. So make an arrangement for whatever time you know that it's your time, then you do it then. If it's right before you go to sleep, when all the children are gone to bed, or your maid is gone, and whatever you want, that you don't want any distraction, do it then. If you want to do it first thing in the morning when you feel fresh, so it's up to you, whatever time. God is everywhere and every time. Okay, I think. Any other questions? I don't see any other questions. Yeah, this is our time for us to connect to Oshun. The Oshun in us, not the pot of rocks, not running down to the river and giving all two hands and all that. No, this is just awakening us. This is spring. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot this season, and so we're coming out of it. You know, this is the turnaround time, and the turnaround time is a time when, you know, since you've been in lockdown for 2 years, how you want to show to yourself, how you want to show to your Oshun, how do you want to show to your vibrancy, to your ability to do you know Oshun is the Orisha that anything that you visualize, she's the energy of visualization. Anything that you visualize, you magnetize and you bring that to you. Powerful. She's the Orisha of the altar. The altars that we have, well, whatever altar you have, your Ifa, Oshun is on there, because there are things there that you smell when you go to Ifa. There are things there that you touch. There are things there that you say. There are things that you see everywhere. If it's at your ancestor, Oshun is right there. If it's the water that you have, if it's the candle that you lit, if it's the pictures of your ancestors, if it's the prayers that you're saying, if it's the sights that you see when you see them, all altars are sacred to us. So you are awakening the God force in you. The God force in you is saying, this is your time. You've turned around. It's spring. Get into your fasting. Get your cleanse. So please join my cleansing and fasting group. For those of us who are mediums or have the ability to see spirit, hear spirit, smell spirit, telepathically, all of us have the ability. But if you want to get keener on it, I suggest and recommend highly you want to register for my mediumship class. It's going to be, I think it's 3 more months before we come back, because we're in the final part now. We're in the Misa's part. And the mediumship training is that you have 4 months of material, academics, and then we have 3 months of just sitting and doing misas and doing spiritual sight work. And so we're in there, and when we're finished with that, we have our retreat. And right after the retreat, so I think it's, go on the website and you see it. Then you can sign up for the mediumship that's upcoming. For those of you who, like the person that says some of us hold things deep, sign up for the SEI program, which is to help 7 generations of trauma that you've had with your family, and that sometimes you don't even know. And so the basic classes are to connect you to some of the tools and things, and then we go to the 5-day experience that you're locked down. Yes, complete silence, not only verbally, but from everything outside. You're in a sacred space where there's drumming, possession. Sometimes for the first time you connect to your ancestors, see them, feel them, walk with them. It's a very intense. So you want to sign up for the SEI program. That's already started. So everything is coming up in the fall, because we're fully engaged now with the SEI and mediumship. The children's rites of passage. If you have children who see, know, sense, the children are taking the classes on Oshun. This one of the things that they're doing. No, today's class for the older children, they learn how to throw Obi Kola to ask themselves questions. NID, you got a 12-year or 13-year-old that know how to throw Obi. Yes, give them the tools to empower themselves. So sign up your children. You have younger children, you have older children. We have 2 different groups. Sign your children up, and it's very cost effective. If you know me, my fees and that are very minimal, because I know that we want to put it in a place where everyone can find it possible. And of course, if you're interested in finding out more about this faith or the things that we do, Palo, all of that at the training. As a matter of fact, we have Palo initiations coming up next week. And yes, just go on the ORE IIASK Friends of the Institute and sign up and go to classes. And if you've gotten what it is that you want, you can always come off. It doesn't lock you into anything that you've got to do it. But what I suggest and what I recommend, the reason that I created this platform was so that I wouldn't have to keep saying the same thing over and over. Because sometimes I'm doing a reading and someone said, well, wait a minute, what about if my ancestors did so and so? You're taking away from your time to find out in your divination. And so that I wouldn't have to take the time to then talk to you about process, then that's why that platform was created, so that you can go there and get all of the questions that you would have about how do I connect with my ancestors, or what is this faith about, who is Seti Lu, who is that, those are the things that you find there. And you have access, there's over, I think it's like 13 classes now, because we've been on more than a year, and you go in there and you can go back with your book and listen to them. Relationships with godparents and godchild, what is the power when you give or someone receive a shrine from you? What is the connection that you have? You can't just walk away from them. All of those things are in there. Why is it that you shouldn't? You can, because you can do anything you want. But what's the responsibility? What's the repercussions behind it? You also have situations where you're trying to Google this faith and jump in quick, and you don't really know the amount of commitment that is created, and you go and get shrines and you don't know what to do. That's what it is for. Or IIASK is to help you, so that in my time with you, speaking with you in a consultation, is only 45 minutes to an hour. We don't have to talk about stuff that's going to take away from just getting into the juice of what you want. So, hopefully, that y'all will find some strength in that. Again, I have products there that I made. I have the lotion is there, the scrub is there. Before I came to Barbados, I made a bunch of it. A lot of the products I'm not making yet, because it requires a lot of focus on those things, and I'm not focused on that right now. And get your scrub, get your lotion, get your Oshun soap. I made Obatala soap is the beast. I brought some with me. It's good. The Obatala soap is always great. The Obatala soap, the banishing soap is there. I don't have any banishing wash on that, because it's winter. We don't have the herbs yet. But please join me and go on my website, yayafini.com, subscribe to YouTube, so that whenever I'm on, that y'all will have it. But I just want y'all to know that I pray and just reach my hand out to each and every one of you, to know that anything that has ever happened to you that makes you feel frightened, afraid, insecure, worried, preoccupied, to the point where you forget that you are perfectly designed and orchestrated by the divine to come on earth and touch and make a difference in other people's life. I touch you. I lay my hands on you, that everything that you touch from this point on will negate fear, negate anything that is going to distract you from knowing that you are a powerful, resilient, beautiful, orchestrated person. May your mirror be a joy to you. May your vocal cords invoke nothing but love. May your fast be successful. May you're looking at your smelling and learning and doing the things to set up your altar be successful to you. May all of your 5 senses awaken keenly for the next 15 days, for the next 20 days, for the next year, for all of your incarnation. So I thank you, each and every one of you. I thank you, Modupwe, for all of you that have, just made my life meaningful and have always encouraged me. And when I stump my foot and I realize that it's a pebble, that y'all have helped me to realize that I can take that pebble and build my house, and not take that pebble and think that I'm in pain. So thank you, each and every one of you. Go forth and know Oshun loves you, the goddess of the energy of creation, creativity. Go create yourself. Create yourself a reality of love, of spontaneity, and of beauty, and of all of the things that make you feel good, and you want to repeat it again. That's Oshun. She wants you to repeat it because it feels good. Go back to the mirror and say, "Ooh, oh, that looks so good." Yes, when you're going out, say, "Ooh, I didn't talk to myself." Go in the mirror and say, "Ooh, girl, you look good. You rocking it." Yeah. because I know I look good. I'm so chocolate. I love it. Whenever I come to the tropics, my friend is coconut oil and sunshine. Yes, I can look nice and black and juicy and resilient. Come back with all my vitamin D. So enjoy your day. Have yourself a wonderful evening and know that Oshun is out there. Oshun is in here. So wake her up. Okay? Okay. Odavo. Bye. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And keep praying for me because I'm praying for y'all. Now, y'all know it's always a challenge for me to come off this thing. But that's why y'all love me because you know I'm special. Odavo. End broadcast.